And this is Maginoni. Here's my review for Ultimate Avengers 2, Issue 4, and Avengers number 2. Now, there's going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't read your book, you might want to come back later. I'm going to do Ultimate Avengers first. Okay. Now, what we have here is events right after Ghost Rider smashing through the plane. Now, you see that Frank Castle's got himself a powered suit that allows him to run and jump faster and higher. And he clocks the Ghost Rider pretty good. And Ghost Rider basically acknowledges the fact that he knows that he's Frank, and he's disappointed that he's on the wrong side here, and takes care of business. Now, Ghost Rider is about to take... let me see here, yeah. Ghost Rider is about to take care of his target, Frank, but he notices the cross, and the cross kind of jacks him up a little bit, and he causes him to pause, but not long enough before he's able to extract vengeance. This is where Frank's like, hey, we know this is not I know this is not a mutant now. And then we have mysterious guy working the crossword puzzle, and I know who that is now. It's revealed. It's kind of interesting. Here's basically this particular mission here has been elevated quite high, so now they've moved into Avengers Tower. Carol's kind of a ditz, and there's some interaction between Tony and his brother and Carol, proving the fact that she's pretty much clueless. Now we go to the Spider. Now, Spider's kind of interesting because he eats flesh, and he knows things that people don't know. Now, with Black, he's like, I'll tell you what I want to know, what you want to know. But, Black Widow, you're going to have to tell me something. Tell me about why you and Nick Fury broke up. So, Black Widow says, I met Nick Fury, dated Nick Fury, everything was great. One day I was looking through my address book, I noticed dots by names, and finally one day I found out that he was basically banging all my friends and family members. So that's why we broke up. Now, one thing that's kind of odd is it looks like right here Nick Fury's got a gut. And I don't know if that's a mistake or what, but that's pretty bad. Now, the Spider tells his side of the story, where now we have Johnny Blaze. You have, they're newlyweds, they're going to a biker bar. People were nice and friendly up until the bar closed. Johnny was sacrificed, and suddenly those guys got a rise of power. In hell, Johnny Storm made a deal with the devil. Does this guy look familiar? And transformed himself into Ghost Rider. Now, there was two conditions for this. One was, you're going to become Ghost Rider to extract vengeance, and the other one is to make sure his woman was safe. Now, he basically rises from the grave, and we learn that everybody's been killing, obviously, those people in that inner circle, and that goes all the way up to the vice president. So that's why it's high priority now. So I'm going to go over this a little bit more in detail after I do the Avengers. Now, with the Mighty Avengers, it takes place right after the events from the first issue. Gosh, I hate saying that. But anyways, they're looking for their time machine maker, and they find Marvel Boy. So they basically ask Marvel Boy what his intentions are, and he's basically, well, I know my purpose in life. My purpose in life is to be the protector of this planet. Stark, with all his gadgetry, sees that he's not lying, so they join sides. Takes him in, gives him access to Stark technology, and Marvel Boy starts working on the machine. Now, Tony, being an arrogant bastard, is basically, hey, now I'm going to put you to work. And then Marvel Boy's like, no, I don't think so. I'm not going to give you any Kree technology until you earn it, because that's going to destroy your planet. Now, personally, I like that touch about Marvel Boy. But anyways, he creates their time machine, and you can see the different futures here. You have, let's see, the X-Men universe, that Marvel universe where Spider-Girl came from that failed, and then it'll spin off. Here's that 2012, or 2099, whatever it was called, line. Here's the line with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Death Head. and then over here is the future that they need. Now, before, they're kind of looking at it, seeing what's going on with that. They see the Kang dying, but something's not quite right, and then the thing, as you can see, closes up on them. So, they think they can pretty much push their way through, but they just have to make a few adjustments, but that's when they get attacked. Surprise. And can you guess who it is? Yeah, it's Wonder Man. And I don't know if there's something got to be going on with Wonder Man, because he's doing this mad hard on about, I told you if you reform the Avengers, I'm going to stop you. And he starts battling, and Marvel Boy just says, you know what, screw you, and he just kicks his ass. So I thought that part was kind of cool. Now, this is where things take a really crazy turn. And if you don't want to be surprised, just stop now. And I'll just say, this was good, the other one was still good, but stop now. Since you're still here, this is what happens. Blinding flash of light, and we have Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen. I was like, holy crap. I never expected to see this scene. Now, what makes this scene even more interesting is who the 4 horsemen are. You have somebody that obviously looks like Scarlet Witch. You have someone who could be Spider-Man. You have someone who could potentially be the Hulk. And you have, that could even be Hercules, for that matter. But I'd put money on the Hulk. And you have somebody that looks like Wolverine. Now, my guess is this is not the 4 horsemen that you normally would expect. This is some 4 horsemen of some alternate universe in the future type thing. And that's where you end. So now you get the Avengers Assemble story. Now, this is my take on these two particular these issues here. This one, this is, in a sense, this was a much needed downtime to build the story up a little bit more. I liked how they introduced the Spider character's powers a little bit more. And they gave you the much needed origin for Ghost Rider, so you get a better idea of what he's up to, what his motives are, and what's in store. So now my hope is everything after this is going to be battling. It better be battling. Now, it's amazing. Now the Avengers here, other than the Wonder Man going crazy so quickly, I really like this issue. I really did enjoy the bringing in of Marvel Boy. I think Marvel Boy is a really good character, and I was happy to see him used during Dark Reign, and pissed off that he left so quickly. Now I'm glad that he's back. I hope he becomes a permanent member of the Avengers. And the ending with the Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen, I thought that was like, wow. I really, really want to see what's going to happen next. I cannot wait for this issue. Out of these two, I think this was the better of the two, but I think both are still pretty good issues. This one just had more of a wow factor to it. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it on the side. Tell me, what do you think of the return of Marvel Boy? Is that a good thing for the Avengers or a bad thing for the Avengers? Subscribe to the channel, and until next time.